Ding-donger walks into my home like he owns it in typical colonist fashion and starts looking at one of my native magazines and he says, "Why do you have this? You're not Aboriginal." And I say, "Yes, I am." And he says, "No, you're not." And I'm in no mood to discuss my racial cultural heritages with a ding-donger, so I say, "Yes, I am." And leave it at that, adding more flour to my fry bread, which is too thin and sticky. So then the ding-donger decides to bring up a feminist bumper sticker on my friend's car, and he tries to claim it's sexist. "How do you deduce that?" I ask. And he says it's narrow and that it means that all straight white men are assholes, blah, blah, blah. I want to add rich and able-bodied, but instead I say, "You're drowning in white male guilt." But ding-donger says he isn't, so I plop my fry bread down on a cookie sheet and start kneading the sloppy bread, pretending it's this man's pasty face. Ding-donger is blitzed out of his head and is touching me way too much, which pisses me off because 1, I didn't invite him to. 2, he's straight or says he is, and I think, what makes you think you can touch me just because I'm a faggot and cooking fry bread and in a skirt? And yes, indeed, sexism is the root of homophobia because somehow this ding-donger thinks because I'm a fairy, not really a man, at least not like him, thank God, I won't take this sticky ball of water and flour and smear it on his face. Too bad I haven't started heating up the oil so I could fry up his hand until it bubbles golden brown in his iron pan and I could eat it with some beans or maybe honey, which seems to be this guy's favorite since he keeps calling me like that, like I've got a label on my container reading Lucky Clover. And he comes up behind me and puts his arm around my waist and kisses me on the cheek and neck like I'm some kind of bread that needs a crust. And I wish I had a fine-toothed comb to rake down his face and then maybe add some of his blood to my mix, because as a faggot, I'd like my fry bread pink. But he leaves for more beer, and I'm grateful he's an alcoholic, so he has a motivation, ding-donger though it is, to get out of my house. He leaves his hat, which makes me nervous because I don't want him to come back for it. So I leave my bread to rise and wash the dough off my hands, but the anger doesn't come off and stains my fingers and clothes. So I take a piece of paper and smear the anger into a sign which reads, "The mixed faggots making fry bread, no ding-dongers allowed." What-oh, thank you.